People like to think that someone might have hidden a Picasso in the attic. But it's a sad fact of life that most of us won't find anything but dust bunnies when we finally get around to cleaning up. But some people have found money not in their attics but in their junk drawers, backyards, bathrooms, dinner plates, or even on their birth certificates. And the things that made them rich weren't as rare as a work of art. Instead, they were things that almost anyone can find or buy today for a low price. Watch on to learn about 10 common things whose owners got rich by selling them. Number 10. A name. When Jason Sadler's mother told him that she and his stepfather were getting a divorce, he made a joke about it. Sadler told his mom that he would have to sell his last name if he didn't want to take on the family name of his third divorced dad. Half a year later, Jason Sadler made a website called buymylastname.com, which was based on that joke. Sadler said he would change his last name to a billboard ad for any company that would pay him to do so. What would happen if Nike decided to call Jason Just Do It instead of Jason? Jason would just do it, as long as the highest price was offered for the dubbing. Within 24 hours of the auction starting, the price of his name went from a few $100s to $30,000. 40 days later, Jason was paid $45,000 to become JasonHeadsets.com in a legal way. Even though MrHeadsets.com is an easy-to-remember name, Jason decided that he would not use that last name. He did not go back to calling himself Jason Sadler. Instead, he put his last name up for auction again. For $50,000, Jason was now known as Jason Sufrap. What is in a name? Almost $100,000, apparently. Number 9. A cup of coffee. Stella Liebeck and her nephew went to a McDonald's drive-thru on a cold winter day. After ordering a cup of hot coffee, Liebeck spilled it on her lap as her nephew pulled the car away. Stella Liebeck then sued the chain of restaurants for damages and won a lot of money. In the first court case that followed, Liebeck versus McDonald's, the jury awarded her $3 million in compensation. Even though a judge later cut the price to about $500,000 and Liebeck may have settled for less, this seems like a good payout for spending 15 minutes at a fast food restaurant, but maybe not worth spending months in court. But before we all go to the nearest drive-thru with a hot drink in one hand and a phone ready to speed dial our lawyers in the other, we should know that this settlement cost more than just coffee-stained pants. Liebeck got third-degree burns and had to get skin grafts to heal. In court, evidence showed that McDonald's franchisees overheated the coffee of hundreds of people every year, causing similar injuries. This lawsuit was more a case of justice rather than frivolity. Number 8. A spring. During World War II, Richard James was working in a factory when he knocked a spring off a shelf. He was amazed when the spring smoothly coiled downwards instead of instantly dropping to the ground. As the spring hit the floor, an idea hit him. What if he could make a coil that would double as a child's toy? After working on it for 2 years, he made a toy that could stretch, shrink, and spiral down slopes. His wife, Betty James, looked up the word slinky in a dictionary and gave it that name. Together they took out a $500 loan and built an empire that continues to sell the toys to this day. At first, James and Betty had trouble making money off of the slinky. Because it was so ordinary, toy stores didn't want to sell it. But when the toy became popular and James made a lot of money from it, he gave most of it to a religious group in South America that he had joined. James didn't become rich because he put his company into a 7-figure hole of debt. Oops. Betty took over the company and miraculously turned it around. Even though she sold enough slinkies to wrap around the world 150 times, she never changed how simple and cheap it was. In fact, she sold it for even less in 1990 than she did in 1945. Number 7. A tulip. A Dutch person from the 17th century would be shocked if you gave your Valentine a bouquet of tulips. Not because the Dutch like roses better than tulips, but because of how valuable the tulips, or, more specifically, their bulbs, would be in a bouquet. In the 1600s, tulips came from what is now Turkey to the Netherlands. The crops had been hit by a virus, which made each tulip have its own unique pattern of colors. Strangely, the sick flowers ended up being worth even more than the healthy ones. Different tulip patterns were coveted by scholars, who bought them like they were baseball or Pokemon cards. People soon found out that people in academia would pay almost anything for flowers with unique patterns, so the price of tulips went up. By 1637, it would be possible for you to exchange a single bulb for one of the largest, most fashionable houses in all of the Netherlands. Even though prices fell in less than a year, people made and lost a lot of money on things that we now give away for free. Number 6. A rock. Gary Dahl was at a bar drinking when he had an idea that would change the 1970s and make his company more than $1 million. During a talk with his friends, he thought of the best pet. It would be friendly, well-trained, not shed hair, and live a long time. Dahl realized that rocks were better pets than cats, dogs, and goldfish in every way. Dahl turned his drunken idea into a real business by selling rocks in cardboard boxes with holes in them so the rocks could breathe. For a little less than $4, you could have a stone of your own. The package came with a guide that told how to take care of the rock and what tricks it could learn. Among other sarcastic jokes, it explained how to teach a pet rock to play dead. The absurdity of the rocks made people all over the United States laugh. Even though anyone could find a wild rock in their yard, the pet rock was so popular as a joke gift that it flew off the shelves. Number 5. Garbage. As anyone who lives in a city can tell you, litter is worse than worthless. Justin Gignac from New York was persuaded otherwise. He thought that if someone put something in the right way, it would sell, and other things on this list show that he was right. He started to pick up trash from the streets and put it in smell-proof glass boxes. People bought them as souvenirs from Gignac, who sold them for $10 each. He put the price up to $50, and people bought them as pieces of art. Today, a cube of trash in New York costs $100, and his website says that as of the time of this writing, all of the trash is sold out. Number 4. Air. We breathe about 23,000 times a day. Even though we pay for things like food, water, shelter, and electricity, no one would ever think of paying for air. Right? When 2 Canadians started bottling the air in the Rocky Mountains and selling it for $24 a can, they proved that people will pay for what they breathed. People in smoggy Chinese cities started buying the bottles as a joke to protest bad air quality, or so they say, and to get a whiff of clean, unpolluted air, more likely. Number 3. Poop. If we excreted gold instead of poop, we might think twice about doing so. Piero Manzoni, an artist, thought that his poop was just as valuable as gold. In 1961, he put his money where his mouth was. He canned 90 tins of his own poop and tried to sell it to his customers. In less than 2 years, he traded 30 grams of it for 30 grams of 18-karat gold. So, we don't think this is just another weird thing from the 1960s. Another can sold at auction in 2008 for over $100,000. This means that Manzoni's poop is worth about 65 times its weight in gold right now. Number 2. A red paperclip. Kyle McDonald, a 27-year-old man from Montreal, started the summer with no job, no house, and just one red paperclip. Kyle didn't update his resume or open a savings account when he decided to buy a house for himself and his girlfriend. Instead, he took the red paperclip out of his apartment and traded it for a fish-shaped pen. After 13 trades, he got a movie role in exchange for a 2-story farmhouse in Kipling, Saskatchewan. In less than a year, Kyle traded the paperclip on his desk for a house. This shows that even the value of an office supply can be surprising. Number 1. 2 pizza boxes. In 2010, Bitcoin developer Laszlo Hanyecz was hungry and wanted pizza. At the time, Bitcoin was almost unknown, and Hanyecz was working on it. Under the name Laszlo on the internet, he said that anyone who would order in 2 pizza pies would get 10,000 Bitcoins. In 2019, 9 years later, those 10,000 Bitcoins are worth a lot more than the flour used to make 2 large pizzas. At the time this was written, if someone had taken Laszlo up on his offer, they would now have more than $100 million just for ordering from Papa John's twice. So, guys, that was it for this video. What did you think about the video? Let us know in the comments section below. If you are new to our channel, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell to get notified about our latest videos. Thanks for watching.